It says we are live right now. See if you hear me. Because I don't have my phone. Dun, dun, dun. Am I up?
What's your name on? Was it just Call Me Chris?
Yeah.
It normally pop up in my it?
It said you don't even know my
I do know Just Call Me Chris. It ain't up.
It's up because I'm looking at it. I'm streaming. Here we go. Look here. Let's see. Do I see me anywhere? Videos. I got my videos. Where's my live at?
Because it would just automatically pop up if you was live.
Says I'm live. Says I'm on air. Let's see. Still nothing? Why in the heck did that go? It says I'm on. Let's see what happens. I just tried to fix it. On the auto. Anything yet?
Yeah.
You see it? Can you hear me?
Say something.
Hello?
Yeah.
All right. So just
keep it up.
No, just monitor the comments.
When I get one, do you want me to say it out loud?
Sure. All right. What's up, everybody? So just doing a little bit of live streaming tonight. Right now, just bear with me. I'm trying to maneuver and finagle my way over to where the actual toys are, because I've got a complex little situation here. Let me see how I can do this without hitting anything. If y'all could see this right now, this is funny. All right. So I am in position. What is up, everybody? I hope you're having a great night. Just wanted to talk to you tonight about The Predator. Trina is in here, so we're going to be talking about it. Speak up if you would. I got some Predators in front of you here. Really excited. I've held on to some of these guys for a while, but I'm actually going to go ahead and unbox all of these guys from my shelves because I'm super pumped on Predators. The movie's out, The Predator, and I want to give you my thoughts on it. So far, I've heard a lot of good information about it from different channels. Shout out to Acid Glow and some of the other channels that are out there that I think have some really good Predator alien information. I think it's Mr. H Reviews is one of the others, really good. But just want to talk to you about my opinions on the movie. And, you know, I left the movie feeling kind of indifferent. And let me explain. Before I do that, let me tell you, if you do not want any spoilers for the Predator, don't watch this video. Just mute it and just watch the actual figures I unbox if that's what you came for. But I am going to talk about it in depth and talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, and where I think we kind of go from here. So first things first, the movie as a whole was okay. I enjoyed a lot of the action sequences in the movie. I think the Predator design was really good. This particular Predator in general was outstanding. I don't think the figure looks as good as he looked in the movie. He looked amazing in the movie, like I expect the Predator to look, but he did not look... The toy is not a good representation. I thought he was awesome, and I thought just the way he killed was really good, and it was just very brutal, which is awesome, you know, for predators versus humans. And it just really showed why they are such a force and what we all of us Predator fans fell in love with. And that's very interesting because in this movie you saw on screen something that was totally different than the messaging. And let me explain. So basically, if you follow any of the blogs, if you've seen the movie, again, spoilers coming right now. 3, 2, 1, stop if you don't want to hear any spoilers. But the whole premise of this movie is based upon this guy coming to Earth and bringing us this predator killer. And I'll go more into that in a second. But bring us this predator killer that is supposed to help us as predator sightings and visits to Earth are becoming more and more frequent. And we find out in this movie why. But I was a little disappointed because this guy was coming to bring us something that helped, but yet it was really more implied than anything else. Because every time he had any interaction with humans, it was, except for Olivia Munn in the one scene, wasn't it when she was kind of like naked and ducked down? Outside of that, he was just wrecking humans. And I mean, he was wrecking them in a major way, like shredding them to pieces, stabbing them to death, just by any means necessary. Now, it could be that he felt attacked, but if you go back to the very first act of the movie, he's being pursued by another predator, which I'll get to in a second, and he pops through a wormhole, looks like, or a black hole, and he hits Earth, his ship crashes, and we kind of pick up with that, and the main star, what was his name? The main sniper dude, I can't remember. McKinney. We pick up with him with his unit, and this predator ship's coming right at him, and next thing you know, all hell breaks loose, and there's one of his one of the people he's in charge of that's hung up in a tree. He scans around and he sees like this shape, kind of, sort of, and it's the cloaked predator, which looks amazing. And you know, he shoots at him a couple times. The predator fires back, and everything is everything. So my question is that just doesn't make sense, and it was out of continuity. So the question I asked, or the question I have, is if the predator was bringing us something to help us fight other predators, why was he just like murdering folks right off the bat like that after he crashed? That just doesn't make a lot of sense. Did you think about that, or did you not care just because? Yeah, I mean, you can say. I mean, it's just Trina's back there in the back. You know, you can't hear. She doesn't say much. Kind of boring on these kind of things. But it didn't make sense. I mean, the predator, again, is coming to bring us a gift. That's like me coming to bring you something that's going to help you, but yet I'm trying to murder you in the process. It just didn't really make a lot of sense to me. So that was head scratcher number one. I said, okay, I understand it, because let me tell you, some of Shane Black stuff I really like. Some of it's very questionable, but i.e. Iron Man 3. But this, you know, I was like, I'm going to give it a chance because I do really love the Predators. I mean, I've got a lot of merchandise. I just always have loved them since the first movie. First time I saw them, I've read the comics. Everything about them I've loved. So that was questionable thing one, is you bring us a gift, but you're murdering us in the process. So maybe this gift was for a specific person. We'll never know because the script never fleshed that out. Maybe it was for a specific unit. I don't know, this Predator killer. But all I saw of the Predator was that he was wrecking folks as he went to this Predator right here, as he went to deliver this Predator killer. All right, moving on. So his kid is, I guess he has autism or he's got something. And Josh just texted me. Let me see what he said. Maybe it was something to do with the stream. Yeah. I digress. All right, so the next thing that was a little questionable is that this kid, what grade was that kid maybe in?
6th.
He was in 6th grade?
Yeah.
And he had some sort of, he was autistic in some way, but he could just right off the bat read and decipher Predator language better than any schooled person or anything like that. And Olivia Munn's character, who was a scientist, basically stated that the reason that is because people with disabilities such as like some sort of autism, or they're right on the edge of the spectrum, as she described it, or the next evolution of humans. And so that's why he could do what he can do. Well, I call bullshit, but I digress. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. There were a lot of holes in the movie. Again, the Predator action was great. Not going over every little detail, because there's other channels that do that in much better detail than I do. There was a scene where the little boy was out doing the whole trick-or-treat joint, and he had the Predator head on. I'm going to go ahead and get into some of these unboxings. He had the Predator mask on, and a kid threw, what, he threw a rock at him or something? And
No, it wasn't a kid.
it was a kid at the house. It was, yeah, it was like it was like a teenager.
Okay.
But he threw something at the boy at the autistic son with the mask on, and you know, the mask didn't like it, so it shot him and exploded him, just completely shredded him, and that was that. And it was like a holy crap scene that kind of got glossed over, which I would think would be a big deal if a 6th grader just murdered another person. But it was just kind of like everybody was cool with it, and we just kept going.
Yeah.
So we're unboxing the Fugitive Predator right now. It says so right here up front, Fugitive Predator. On the back, the read up for this guy says predators have been genetically evolving themselves to be stronger, smarter, and more lethal than ever before. When a young boy accidentally activates a mysterious alien device and becomes the target of these enhanced predators, only his father and the most unlikely ragtag band of crazy ex-military agents can save him and the human race from obliteration. Whoa, that's deep. The box art here is really good. I mean, I think, again, a lot of people, this is either a love-hate design. I absolutely like it. I hope Hot Toys will make one of these, because I would love to have this in my collection. But here he is in the packaging, and hopefully my lights aren't too horrible. He looks really good here. I'm just super stoked. I like this design. Like I said, he comes across better, I think, on screen than he does here. But you get him, you get his plasma cannon, you get his masked face, you get his unmasked face, which is really cool. You get here his wrist gauntlet blades. You get 2 ungauntleted arms, which I'm not ever going to use because I just don't like that. And then you just see kind of the rest of him here, which I think is really cool. So let's get him out of the package so we can take a better look. Now back to the movie. So this son who can read this alien technology, who has autism, activates this mask. He goes out trick-or-treating. The mask then kills someone, and all hell breaks loose. In the meantime, the military, having figured out that his dad, McKenna, I guess Senior, or Big McKenna as I'm gonna call him, has had contact with the alien, puts him has had contact, I say the alien, contact with the Predator, put him on a crazy bus and ship him off to Looneyville, where he meets very colorful, for lack of a better term, group of guys, which I thought were better than I thought they were going to be in the movie. This thing is sick, you guys. I really like it. Make sure the wrist blades are right. Is his arm turned the right way? That's kind of weird. Yeah, that's an elbow. I just don't want to break anything. That looks pretty good. This guy looks really good. Just my first time looking at him outside of the package. Check this out, babe. This is sick. It's got double wrist blades. You can take these off, which is why you can.
Is that the one from the movie?
This is the one from the movie. Really cool. I think this is pretty epic. Back to what I was saying. So, he meets this ragtag group of heroes, and that group of heroes, along with him, or I guess we call them heroes, but they're crazy people. It's got Key, not Jordan Peele. It's got Key on there, Michael Keegan, and it's got who else? Thomas Jane and some of the other guys on there. Thomas Jane was the guy who had Tourette's. And there's some other guys on there. I forget who that black guy's name was, who was kind of like their leader. Yeah, he seemed pretty cool. He's a pretty good actor. I don't know that they all fit all that well, but I thought it worked out for the movie's purposes. And when it was time to die, they died in short order pretty quickly. Let's take a look at this guy real quick. He looks pretty awesome. Neca again killed it with the paint work. Everything about him looks really good. I'm gonna bring him a little closer. Hopefully you guys can see this. There's that plasma cannon. The dreads look really good and laid down. One of the things a lot of reviewers have kind of showed is right up under there. You can kind of see that jawline poking out, which is cool. This is not the scarred up mask. This is the standard mask. But again, that plasma cannon. Like I said, I like this look. My plasma's just a little loose, but that's okay. The musculature looks really good. This armor looks very royal, which is interesting. But I love the way, like I said, the way the dreads lay on the back. And yeah, this is a really solid figure. I really like it. For me, it's awesome. Let me try to pull his arms off just so we can get it. And they just popped out like so. And I don't know if... Nah, you can't do it. I was hoping these wrist gauntlets would go over those open hands, but they won't, so that kind of sucks because this is one piece, just like that's one piece. So I'll just show you what it looks like just so you can have an idea. But it's kind of cool. Jeez, it's hard to get on there. Hold on. There it goes. Jeez. Workout. So there's his I guess more normal skin hand is the best way to call it. It's kind of cool because you do still have wrist articulation, which is cool if you want that hand. He just like most NECA, he's kind of stiff, but I like him in full armor personally. I don't like a Predator that's not armored up. This, you know, we can agree to disagree. He does have like some sort of joint, double joint in the pelvis and the waist. He can't really look up. He can look down. He can look side to side. So yeah, he looks pretty cool. I really like that specific Predator a lot. Back to the movie. So what was I talking about? So the kid kills the other kid. He's running around. There's this one scene, and you guys might be able to tell me. It may make sense to you. It didn't make sense to me. There was this pit bull that came up.
Somebody named El Spicy said nice and how much?
Oh, he was, what's up, El Spicy? This guy was $27 at the Target. I definitely recommend picking these up at Target over GameStop because they are cheaper. But to be honest, you're almost better off these days with no more Toys R Us ordering directly from NECA because NECA's $24, $24.99 plus $10 shipping, which is $34. So it's just a little bit more, but you're going to get the figure a lot faster than you would if you were to say order from or get it at like GameStop or Target or something like that. Just my opinion. So what's, depends on how much the $5 is worth to you. So you've got, what was I talking about? The dog. So this pit bull comes up in the movie, and I'm talking about the Predator movie right now. And the boy kind of like bonds with the dog, at least momentarily. Then the Predator hounds show up, and we find out there's another Predator that's tracking the one Predator that's much larger, and he comes with two dogs. And the dogs kind of roll out, and they come up. And about that time, the boy's dad and the crazies, as I'm going to call them, I think they're called the loonies, not the crazies, show up and wreck one of the dogs. And the other dog, they almost wreck, but I guess they lobotomize it. I don't even know. I have to look at the script or something. It just makes no sense. But basically, the dog becomes friends with the folks. Is that right? It doesn't try to eat them anymore. And it just follows them. And that storyline just never really turns into anything. It's just kind of bizarre. We never learn if the government gets the dog at the end. We never learn if it dies. We never learn why it exactly was the way it was. You just expect it to accept it and move on. So that was kind of peculiar. Right after that, a couple minutes later, they run to this school. The upgrade Predator, which is the bigger, which NECA is making, which should be about this tall, which is going to be so amazing. Like 10 inches. I cannot wait. I'm smiling talking about it. He shows up and he goes to wreck some stuff. And that's a nice way of putting it. He snatches this dude out the window. And this dude, I think, had better kills than the upgrade. What do you think? The Fugitive or the upgrade? Which one killed better?
Which one?
This is the Fugitive or the Upgrade. Which one you think had the better kills? I'm gonna say this one because he was like surgical. But I mean, you can pick the other one if you like. I don't care. But they both had really good kills. I'm pulling out the wrist gauntlets, right? The wrist blades for the wrist gauntlets right now, and they look really amazing. Nice detail neck on that. I wish they were a little bit more chrome, but I'm happy with them. But he shows up, grabs this guy, beats him to a pulp in what? Maybe about 2 minutes. It didn't take no time. There was no fight. And he just completely shits on him, slams him into a car, and that was it. It was over before it started. Let me get this head out so I can show it to you. So that kind of sucked. Also, one of the main story plots of this movie is that predators are no longer honorable. Here's the unmasked head, which I think looks pretty sick. But predators.
Is this a remake or continuing of the movie series?
This is kind of, I think, a rebirth of the canon. They're changing the canon. For the worst, and I'm gonna tell you why as I keep going. Let me see if he's got a blooded sign here. I thought he might have. No. What I'm about to tell you is gonna tell you why that is. So you've basically got the predators now are all this time we thought that they hunted, like all this stuff that's going on was for sport and for the hunt and to be skilled and be the best they are as they are with no modifications, just kind of as they are. And this movie basically takes a crap on that and says that they're actually doing what they're doing so that they can upgrade themselves with DNA of their kills. That's why they take the spinal columns and they pull the best DNA from the best hunted specimens they can to become the best they can to become the superior warrior. And they're doing what they're doing on Earth with us because we're basically killing ourselves with global warming, and they're going to come in and inhabit the Earth after we're dead and extinct, and they're going to take over, which is why they're doing, because this guy also supposedly had human DNA in him as well, which I didn't like that. I don't like that, and that's some shame black crap that I hate. I just think that's stupid because it goes against all the canon of the Predator lore. There's definitely always been predators who cheated, like the Bad Bloods and things of that nature, but there was always the normal predators that didn't approve of it, and there's different castes in Yangtze society, and they dealt with that the way they dealt with it, by outcasting them, just like the predators, like the super predators in the Predators, the movie that came out, the one with Lawrence Fishburne and all those guys in it, back in 2010, 2011. So it's disappointing to basically find out that they're all dirty cheaters and they're actually stealing DNA from all these different things to make themselves better. And it completely defuncts like the Wolf Predator and what he was here to do in like the AVP movie, because if what they're doing is the case, that's no better than a alien predator hybrid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of that's not the same thing because that's fighting for the aliens team as opposed to the predator team, but you get what I'm saying. And maybe they have some alien DNA in them too. I don't know. It's just bizarre. And I just thought that whole way they talked about hybridizing and stuff was bizarre. But whatever. All right, so...
You said, did you like Predator 2? Thanks for explaining.
Predator 2 was... I didn't like it at first with Danny Glover, but I did like it as it went on. To be honest, I just don't see Danny Glover as an action hero, and I think there were better people who could have played that role, like Carl Weathers or somebody. But even though he that won't work because he died in Predator 1. But somebody of that caliber who was actually an action hero at that time, Billy Blanks, somebody would have made a better Harrigan than Danny Glover. And I like Danny Glover. I liked him in Color Purple. I like him in a lot of movies. I just did not like him in that specific role, and I was a little bit disappointed because of it. But as I've gotten older, I definitely appreciate it. There's also a cameo by a person with the last name Keys in this movie, which is a direct tie-in back to Predator 2. He did not die, but he got stabbed, so I don't know what happened because, again, they didn't revisit that. So it's a lot of questions if you're a fan of the series, which brings me to the reality of movies anymore. They're not really made for fans of the series. They're made for, like my wife. She doesn't really follow Predator at all. She said it was great. She really enjoyed herself. She liked everything about it. Where I liked some stuff, but I was also like, I don't like this so much. So, you know, take that as you may. I think it was fine, but there were some things that I really didn't like, especially as a fan, a long-time fan of Predators and everything that they stand for. I was disappointed. And you would think Shane Black would know better on certain stuff, being in the first movie, and it's just tough to capture that kind of lightning in the bottle again. But it was, you know, there was some disappointment there. I'm now unboxing the Jungle Demon, which is amazing. Gonna read him out here, and on the back you see
the head is nice.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go over all these in length, so stick around because this is gonna be a long one. But this is the 30th anniversary collection. Predator had been around 30 years. I want to say around last year. This was one of the most coveted, sought after figures, and I hadn't opened it for a while. I don't care about keeping stuff in box. These are for me. And, you know, if anything happens to me one day, babe, just sell it all. Unless you want to keep it. On the back of this box, it says, "The jungle, it came alive and took him." Deep in the Central American jungle, the Predator is hunting humans for sport. Armed with his plasma caster, wrist blades, and cloaking technology, the Predator methodically stalks and kills the opponents he deems worthy. The jungle hunter Predator collects the skulls and spines of his victims as trophies and skins his prey, leaving the bodies hanging from the trees. When a special forces team is dispatched on a rescue mission, they soon become the Predator's prey. Whoop whoop! Awesome. That's what I know as the Predator. And I ain't trying to be funny, but that's what I know as the Predator. And that's why I think that I always thought this series was so cool, because of stuff like this. This dude, I'm going to tell you right now, is super sick awesome because of all this stuff that is in translucent plastic. This is so sick. It's got a nice jungle green color.
Keep my stuff in the box. I'm scared.
Nothing wrong with keeping it in the box, but you gotta let it breathe too. Now let it breathe. It ain't gonna hurt you. I promise you. Snip, couple snips here and there, and we got us a Predator. Now you don't get a lot with these figures, but man, oh man, is this awesome. God almighty, this is sick. Look at this, Trina. Oh my God. This is the Jungle Hunt. This is the OG. Oh my God. He's translucent.
Nice colors.
Oh my God, he's sick. Now he stands a little bit shorter, even though it's than the upgrade, or than the Fugitive, which technically is an upgrade too. This whole movie is a little confusing in terms of Predator lore. I'm just gonna tell you guys right off the bat. What was I talking about with the movie? So I talked about that he got killed real quick, and it was pretty much over and done with. And it was kind of confusing on that point too, because when I'm gonna skip around a lot, as to not just tell you the whole movie, but tell you the finer points. After all the killing and whatnot was done, he dispatched a couple different crews. There was this one funky scene where he turned his alien speak to human speak and broadcast so that they could hear him in a human voice. That was kind of weird, because they'd never done that before. I mean, they could mimic us, but not have conversations with us. Turns out he wanted the kid for something. I guess he wanted to harvest him because he could decipher their technology. That's what I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I guess.
And so the cloaking device went over the ship. Black guy sacrificed himself. I can't remember what his name is. And then the other guy got chopped in half. A couple other guys, Key and what's his name? Dang it. I forget what the guy's name is. They shoot each other because they're mortally wounded, so don't just commit suicide. And Olivia Munn really didn't get a scratch. There's a lot of random cloaking and a lot of stuff after the second act that's just really bizarre. Pacing wise, it got kind of out of hand. And Olivia Munn and McKinney, the dad, are pretty easily able to dispatch a super predator, which this guy had no chance with, which to me was a little questionable.
He said anything to predators that came in the 2000s.
Ask that question a different way. Anything the Predators that came, I don't know what you're asking. But they dispatched the guy real easy, the Super Predator or the upgrade, and that was that. And it was like, yay! And I guess now the son is working with the government and not going to school anymore. That's what it looked like to me. Is that accurate, baby?
Yeah.
And it was very reminiscent, the reason I brought up Iron Man 3, of how Iron Man 3 was with the kid whose garage Iron Man was in. And it was very similar to that. These super smart, like, young kids that are able to do things that adults just can't. And I guess that's cool on one hand, but it's kind of bizarre on the other hand, because the insinuation was like the boy had a desk there and everything, and the mom didn't really know what was going on. You only saw her for like 20 minutes off and on in the whole movie, and she was gone. It was just really a bizarre film. And at the very end, and this is the part that completely made me say, fuck this. Excuse my language. But it was basically an Iron Man suit came out of a Predator pod. That's what he was bringing us, even though he was murdering us in the process. And now there's like this liquid Black Panther kind of stuff, how a Black Panther suit formed over him from the necklace. Very similar. And we can become in a Predator suit with a Predator head. Looks very similar to this full body armor. And that's supposed to be the Predator killer. And
He said the one day got trapped on the Predator's planet.
what about that one? What was the question before that?
Anything to Predators that
Oh.
came in the 2000s.
No. They had no relation. I like that movie a lot better than this movie, even though I do like this movie, and I'll get to what I liked, even though I'm crapping on it right now. But they ended it with an Iron Man suit, and the dad says, I hope they got that in a 42 long or something like that, and it goes to black. And I'm just sitting there like kind of like, what in the hell did I just watch? My wife was like, whoop whoop. She's like all excited because it was cool to her. Just pulled out, and this guy here is same story on the back, but this is the Jungle Hunter Unmasked, which is awesome. That I just pulled out, and he smells of a factory. He is loud.
He said, is Olivia Munn
There you go.
character believable?
No. Olivia Munn's character is completely not believable because she's a doctor, but she stays alive and kills and handles herself better than Black Ops soldiers and Rangers and military, which isn't impossible, but just highly unlikely. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So this guy comes with the shoulder cannon, old school, of course, which is very different than this guy. I like the new one better, a little bit sleeker, nice upgrade. He's got the head that he can hold. He's got the alternate gripping hand, which you know I'm going to put on him. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, it was like I said, it wasn't horrible, but it had some questionable things. So what did I like? Because I just said, I just kind of told you the whole movie in a nutshell. Let me go back for a second. Should you go see this? If you're a Predator fan, or if you call yourself a Predator fan, absolutely you should. This movie is worth your money to support it, so they'll make another one, hopefully clean all this crap up. Because something's got to give in this universe to fix this. And hold on, you guys, I got to fix the tripod, so it's going to get a little shaky for a second.
He likes the skull. Is that Keegan?
No, he died on a tree. Let me sort all this out. Hold on one second, guys. Trying to give you a better look as we get closer. There we go. Maybe here's good. All right, this will work. All right, so I didn't like the dogs. I thought the dog design was kind of lacking. They had some little baby dreads on the dog, which I thought were weird. Nah, yeah, but I didn't like that. Here's your old school OG plasma cannon. And let's see if we can make this come into focus. Yeah, looks really good. Old school, nice and big, just the way you like it. I thought thought the soldiers, the loonies were okay, but it just developed too fast. And what was weird is he, you know, in the very beginning of the movie, he just lost all his men, right? Or his 3 men. He didn't think nothing else about that, but he was all sad about the other guys. So it just, continuity-wise and pacing, just wasn't there. There's his skull holding hand. Good job by Neca on the paint apps there. I'm going to buy it on DVD just because I have to. It's just one of those things that I'll buy. And I'll probably watch it multiple times because I didn't think it was unwatchable. I just thought it doesn't make sense if you're a hardcore Pred fan. And I just think you guys will agree with that. Look at the detail on this guy. Just as detailed as the Bone Throne. Just looks freaking amazing. This should be freaking... what's the director's name?
James Wan.
No, James Wan is not the director. No.
I saw his name.
That you saw his name for Aquaman, baby, in the preview. Epic fail. I forget what his name is. It's not Jack Black. It is I forget what his name is. But
compared to the new Aliens and Predator, what's better?
If I had to pick out of all the new movies in person, I've got to say the original AVP movie with Sanaa Lathan, even though I think that there was some goofy parts of that movie as well. Don't get me started. I think it was the best. I also think AVP Requiem was a better movie. And I think that the Prometheus movies were superior as well in every way. This movie has some amazing kills, some amazing Predator special effects. The upgrade was fully CGI because of the size. And did you really need an upgrade? That's another point that, you know, will be of contention. Predators are already, what, 7.5, 8 foot tall? Yeah. Did you really need something bigger than that? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you do. Here's a cool one that I'm about to open that I probably shouldn't. This is the Jungle Hunter masked prototype. Looks a lot like the... I forget what that Predator... What's that Predator on the floor beside you over there?
Where?
There's one on the floor. Look under that desk right there. Should be 2 on the floor right there. Be careful. One is Chopper. What's the other one? Ahab, I think.
Ahab, yeah.
Yeah, this looks very similar. Bring that Ahab over. This looks very similar to the Ahab Predator. I'm going to show you what these look like. I'm not opening my Ahab because I'm going to order the new one that just went up for pre-order from Neca, by the way. So get him if you don't have him. I'm actually going to wait to get him in the store because he will be coming to the store. But I've also got the San Diego Comic-Con version. But yeah, that looks very similar to the Ahab mask. His mask is kind of ducked away. But yeah, this one's super sick. If you can kind of see. Not a lot. Not exactly, but kind of similar. But this is a cool one. We're not opening him tonight, though, guys. So.
Your collection is outstanding.
We are. Oh, thank you. So, this Jungle Hunter masked prototype. Super sick. He's going up on the shelf. And really, the only difference that we get from the unmasked is we've got a bloody skeleton skull here, and he comes direct with the holding hand, which is cool. And this thing is awesome. I'm probably gonna blood up the other one because this just looks cool when they can hold a human specimen. Look at that. The thing's freaking amazing. Hopefully you guys can see that without me doing too much. God almighty. Super awesome. Alright, so I'm gonna put that to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and clip him out. And then I'll talk about these up close and personal. So yeah, if you had to score the movie, Trina, what would you say, honestly, out of a scale of 1 to 5?
That's a 5.
Huh?
5.
Oh, you thought it was a 5. Holy shikey. She said a 5. Now, she's not a big Predator fan. She knows I like them, so she puts up with it. If I had to score it on a 1 to 5, I would say maybe a 3. 2.7. 3. No more than a 3, but a 3 is probably pushing it. But, I mean, I think a 3 is reasonable. Again, it's not amazing, but I thought it was not a bad movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it wasn't too dark. That was another thing going in that I was a bit scared about, that it was going to be a little dark, and it ended up not being. The little flap should open up here so we can get to the computer, and it does. Really nice. Get him standing without falling. Come on, buddy. Most of these new Predators stand pretty good, and this guy looks like he's gonna stand okay. Has the same articulation. Oh, just kicked his head over. I don't know if I'm gonna buy another one of these so I can get the head one unmasked and one masked. Probably not, but maybe.
He said he gives it a 3.
Yeah, I think a 3 is reasonable. I mean, if you're a Predator fan, you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. But just normal folk are gonna love it, and so I think it's probably gonna do very well at the theater. And they've been advertising it quite a bit. Oh, the black guy that was in it, who was the main kind of villain, kind of douchebag, he was interesting. They said a lot of cursing. They did a lot of cursing, seemed like for no reason, and using like the P word and the N word and stuff in spots where I just was like, I don't know that it was necessary, but I guess. Same thing on the back here. We've got Dutch and we've got Jungle Disguise Dutch, which is the one for me. This is the one. I'm probably going to get Dutch with his normal clothes on before he got all mudded up. But this was, for me, the breakthrough Dutch when the movie kind of flipped. But this is a cool look. Great sculpt of Arnold. Look at that, guys. That looks like Arnold all day long. And that's when he was like, ah! He got up on top of there. He called him in because he realized he couldn't see him when he was muddy. And so that was just really awesome. That still technically doesn't make a lot of sense either, but I'm going to go with it because I saw this as a kid and I still watch it like the first time when it's on, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Arnie looked, he was like the man. You had 2 former governors in that movie.
He said he hadn't seen it, but by the trailer, he thinks it's a 3.
Yeah, I think so. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Get this guy out. Dutch looks really cool. He's pretty jacked. Let's get his feet straight. He's got some nice ankle articulation going on. I'll pull that up so you can see it. Hopefully, let's see if we can make an adjustment with my hand. You can see that leg will go in and out. So he's got nice ankle articulation. He's got this little bag of stuff going on, this little leaf, and he's nice and jacked. So he looks really good. I like Dutch Schaefer. Looks awesome. So he's got behind him all of his goodies, which are
he said a little Cena and Arnold Schwarzenegger face.
All right. He's got his bow and arrow here, which looks freaking amazing. And he's got a couple other things. He's got a spear if you want it. He's got some arrows. And he's got the torch. I think I'm going to display him with the Olympic torch here. And he's got some bows, some arrows, I'm sorry, and some other things here as well, which is kind of cool. This guy has some pretty cool accessories, so awesome on you, Dutch. But this bow and arrow looks legit. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And so is the torch. Looks really awesome as well. No extra hands, so I guess he can hold all of this stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in his hands. And then we'll go ahead and start talking about what's important. The Neca stuff. And let's bend them Arnold's up. So he looks like he's all business. We'll get this guy gripped.
You don't have guns.
No guns. Not with this model. You know how NECA does. If I'd have got one of the other ones, he might have had some guns, but not this one. And I'm fighting to get this bow in his hand real quick so I can show you guys. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Like, yeah, he looks pretty freaking sick. Yeah, freaking Dutch, baby, for the win. Now he's shorter, but look, Trey, that look good. Check that out. Let me get some close-ups, you guys. Oh shit! Yeah, I told you I'm tight. It's alright. Almost stood everything up. Everybody fell down, but they stood up easy. Told you guys, this is the stuff you do that y'all don't see when I do a non-live video. I gotta be careful. Let me get my leg out because I'm working in a finite corner. Alright, let me unlock this tripod so it may shift. Just be careful. Hoping the signal doesn't jump out.
That earthquake, that was funny.
No doubt. So let me unlock everything so you guys can see. And I'm gonna zoom in specifically on Dutch so you can see him. But I think he looks really good, you guys. Look at that. These are the 30th anniversary figures with one other figure, which is, let me get out of the way before I kill myself. Ugh. Hold on. All right. I gotta do some finagling. Bear with me. All right, there we go. So we got Dutch here. He's gonna come into focus again. And if not, I'm gonna make him come into focus. Booyah.
Booyaka.
So he's holding the fire. He's got the bow and arrow. There's some of the accessories there. Behind Dutch, you have the Fugitive. I'm looking off to the side. His canon, plasma cannon, kind of flipped up. I didn't put all the accessories on because it didn't matter to kind of show you this. This guy is like a prototype of the Jungle Hunter 1, which is actually not my favorite design of Predator. Guess what my favorite Predator is, Trina?
What?
You gotta guess.
I don't know.
I've ordered him from Hot Toys, and he will hopefully come out before the end of the year. But it's the Wolf Predator from AVP Requiem. He's my favorite. He's got a broken tusk. He looks just amazing. Here's some of the other accessories down here on the table. And this is the unmask, I believe. Yeah, he looks really good as well. All of these guys look pretty sick. They're gonna go great in the case. My second favorite design is actually the Part 2. We talked about that earlier. Talked about Danny Glover. I do like the City Hunter. I think he looks awesome. I like some of the Kenner inspired Predators as well. I think a lot of those look really good. But yeah, just wanted to do a quick video just to let you guys know I'm still around. I've got a lot of other content planned. I'm just so busy at work, and I want to do something fun tonight, just kind of hang out. I'm going to finish playing with these for a while, then I'm going to put them in the case. Believe it or not, guys, we're about to be on our third shelf for Predators, which is pretty insane. I'll be doing another video probably tomorrow talking about Predators. If not tomorrow, I'll do it soon. But just want to kind of get something out and do something a little cool. Yeah, this was pretty awesome. If you guys plan on seeing the Predator, let me know. If you have seen it, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this content, let me know what you think as well. I'm gonna start planning to have some fun.
Show all your Predators. I hear you, bro. Thank you for sharing.
I can't show them all right now because the room behind me is a hot mess and I have to get in position to show them. But I've got right now 1, 2, 3 shelves devoted to Predators, and it'll be a third small shelf tomorrow because I'm gonna move some stuff around so I can start making a new shelf, because I've got all 3 brothers finally from the AVP movie that I'm going to. Oh, hand me a Chopper. He's over there on the floor, I believe. I'll show them Chopper because he's cool. He's a cool dude. Thank you, babe. I bought this guy a while ago, and he was the last one that I needed for my 3 brothers. So I've got Scar, I've got Celtic, and now I've got Chopper. I've had him for a while, actually. So he should be pretty cool.
The couch said I'm missing the thermal vision Dutch.
Yeah, I am missing, I think I'm missing 2 Dutches. I'm missing the one in the red shirt. I'm missing the thermal. I'm missing 3 then. I'm missing thermal, and I'm missing the jungle disguise one. And I hope they go ahead. I know Shane Black's the name of the director. I couldn't think of it for anything. But his San Diego Comic-Con figure I'm hoping to get, and I'm hoping that they do all of them. Because I really want them so I can do like a Jungle Hunter scene from the first movie. I think that would be amazing because these are really good figures. And scaling wise, the originals all scale pretty much the same because this is kind of sort of basically the same mold. The paint apps on these 2 are better than on the prototype, and maybe that's just my lapse in the one that I got. but all the joints seem to work pretty good. This Dutch looks amazing, and Neca just killed it with him. I just think that's a really solid figure. He comes with a ton of stuff. I'm gonna have him displayed with his bow and arrow and with the fire, but I just think it looks really good. I've got to put the move Dutch back so he can stand.
I think this is our Terrible. He said, "I like your bits. Keep it up." And he just saw the movie. It was awesome.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. If you are just tuning in, go back and see all my criticisms. They were kind of harsh, but I did like the movie, you guys. That's the point I want you to make. I don't want to scare you off from watching it, but it's got some issues, no doubt. But I think that it's a fine movie, and I think that it's gonna sell tickets, which I think is important, or it's gonna put butts in seats, which I think is important. So what I'm doing now is
Spicy said, "Yeah, keep them up and more movie reviews with your wife."
You mean just me? Because she doesn't say anything. Because she's like back there scared. I'm actually going to start doing more movies related stuff, you guys. At some point I'll let you know. I'm trying to do this on camera to show you that this is a pain in the butt. The way that they got these wrist blades on this particular Predator, they stay in really good, but man, is it a pain to get them lined up. But that looks freaking awesome. Look at that. Compared to the old school way, and they look different. There's much more cutting area. Turn it sideways. There's much more cutting area here. Maybe go this way. Hopefully y'all can see. There we go. That's pretty good. Yeah, so yeah, there's a little bit more cutting specific area as opposed to the old look. So I like this look better. I just didn't want to put them in myself. So I may actually, I don't know if I'm gonna glue them in, because gluing them in might not be the right approach, but they're not going anywhere.
He said, "We are awesome."
So yeah, there's this look here. This by far is probably my favorite Predator out of this set, definitely. He's got the little wrist blade should stick out. I just pulled his arm off. Hold on, buddy. I know y'all like, dang, Chris, you savage. There we go. So you got that extension there. I like that look too, but not as much. That clear plastic behaves kind of funky. So let me stick his arm back on. This was, I think, a Loot Crate exclusive at one point. Then I was able to get, I forget how I got it, but I was able to get it. I just think this looks amazing. This is one of my favorite looks. He's got a little arm computer. Freaking epic. Look at that. This thing is nice. I really like this a lot. Cloaked out. Then he has his shoulder cannon. Now that's another thing too. The shoulder cannon, I thought it goes, what side the shoulder cannon go on? I might be tripping, you guys, but I thought it goes on the other shoulder than what we saw on the new Predator. Is that right, babe?
I guess.
Does
I might be saying his name wrong.
Does it?
Tim Reed said his favorite is the Boar Predator.
Let's see. Am I hitting this in the right spot? I'm just trying to look, guys, because all this is clear plastic. I'm trying to line this up in the slot. Yeah, that looks pretty right. So yeah, this guy here is freaking awesome. Oh, that's another thing too. They way overused the old school music, which I was not a fan of, and I love the old school music from the original. When Dutch and them flew in on the chopper, that was like really neat, but I didn't like as much how they used it here. Wasn't horrible, but wasn't, super cool either. Find this dang slot. There we go. There's a pain in the rear to line this up, but once you line it up, it's pretty good, and everything is clear. Yeah, this is sick. Play dead. Yeah, this dude is like pretty cool. Waist articulation is pretty good. You don't have to stand too far down. While I got you here, before I wrap up, I do want to take this head off and see if we can put the other head on without any issue. A lot of people have been saying they've been having some issues with that. So you got the original head, and I guess it's in the original head, but let me make sure that I'm like where you need to be. Whoa, it's too close. I think that head looks really good under the circumstances. Tilt it down so you can see it. I really like this biomask. But let's see what his unmasked head looks like compared to the original OG. And hopefully this will go in without me having too much problems. But it might be a tight fit. That's the only thing. I don't want to break anything, because you really a lot of times have to heat these Neca joints up, you guys. I broke the leg on my quarter scale Jason, and rather than sending it off or doing anything, I just glued it. Like twice in a row.
Spicy said he's gonna have to pass on the movie and wait for Halloween to come out.
Oh yeah, Halloween's gonna be sick. I got some Halloween content coming your way too. Just you wait and see.
Did you hear me? That one guy said his favorite predator is the boar.
I don't know that one. Look at this. This is cool. So this is old school versus new school. And he's got a little different look, but they look very similar. He's got a little bit more gingivitis going on, but I do like this one. I just don't like this predator with this. Like, I don't know. It's cool to see him unmasked occasionally, but what makes him intimidating is just like Michael Myers to me. It's the freaking mask. And like, if you see this dude coming at you, man, he's just freaking. That's awesome. So that's how I'm going to be displaying them. I'm glad I looked at that before I did anything, because this to me just says, yes, I'm going to kill you. I like that. Looks kind of like the Falconer from Predators. I don't have that, but I do want the hot toy of the Falconer, and I also want the Tracker, who just also happens to have a dog. Let me put some wrist blades in here. I'll show you that real quick, just so you can have an idea. But yeah, we are all predatored out for tonight. Hold one.
He said he's not excited for Halloween. Michael Myers doesn't run and still gets you.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I like Mike because he's the brutality of who he is and how he does it is what I like. I don't like him more than I like Jason. But I like Michael Myers a lot. We like both of them, right? Which one do you like the most?
They're the same.
That's blasphemy.
Like neither one of them runs.
I might have to cut this one out, babe. This thing is heavy.
One has a butcher knife and the other one has a machete.
Boom, boom. Is this right? Yeah.
He said, Jason is my boy.
Yeah, I'm a big Jason fan too. And if you've been watching any of my content, you kind of know that. Yeah, this is freaking sick. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this just to because I'm not really happy with how it's sitting. But I like how he's sitting.
Spicy said he liked both and Freddy.
You're a Freddy fan. I'm not a big Freddy fan. Nothing wrong with Freddy Krueger. He's just not for me. I got more Freddy Krueger stuff lately, but he's just not my favorite. Slide this guy over because he's hogging the light. Yeah, I think that looks really good. And just to give you a side-by-side comparison with a dude. So that's probably a good 2 foot, 3 foot taller. So he might be 8 foot now, and the old one might be 7 foot. Because he just towers over us. That's probably about right in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Them things were, I mean, those new ones were pretty tall. Alright, so I like this. I'm going to take I actually like his naked hands a little more than I initially thought I would. Being honest, it's just a different look, which is kind of cool. if you want to go for that. But I like this. I'm like not playing with your dang it. If I don't break it off. There we go. Maybe not like that. Looking like that. Looking like that. Yes. He looks pretty sick.
Have you seen the Reebok Predator shoes?
I've not, but that sounds freaking amazing. Yeah, I think that looks pretty sick, you guys.
I'm curious. I want to see what it looks like.
I think that's pretty cool. Let me turn him a little bit more so you can get the look. I don't know. What do you guys think about that pose? I think that looks pretty cool. And this dude is gonna be pissed off. Unmasked and mad as heck.
Say thumbs up.
Yeah, I think he looks pretty cool. A lot of people don't like this Predator look. I think it looks pretty freaking epic. I'd poop my pants if he showed up, just saying. Alright guys, enough of me rambling. I love you. Appreciate you so much for hanging out with me. I'll be back. I'm going to try to do this at least on the weekends, go live, and try to give you some more content. I do have a video on both Pennywise versions that I definitely want to put out. So I'm going to be putting that content out. Please support it so that I can have the opportunity to make more. You guys have an amazing rest of your weekend. Go watch a good movie, and I'll see you soon. Bye.